Hello, it's Nathan from Serious Geeks, and today's video is going to be a little analysis of one of the models that we know from the leaks and previews that we've seen from Games Workshop site, and that is the Ctan. On screen now you can see a close-up of the Ctan. We haven't got any better pictures, I'm afraid. This is pretty much as good as it's going to get until Games Workshop deem it fit to release something new. From what we can see though, I think it's a cracking model. That's pretty good detail. It's not as bad as it could be, that picture, and I think that's a brilliant model. I mean, the combination of the wings and, you know, the weapons he's got, it just looks so otherworldly and almost ethereal, eldritch. It's incredibly powerful looking, and I reckon it's a great model. Trying to identify it, I've heard spoken online, and I kind of agree with it. That could be the Void Dragon, or at least a shard of. The Necrons keep shards of Ctan that they destroyed in battle, or Silent King I should say. He destroyed and shattered them into billions and millions of pieces, and yeah, he's keeping them in servitude, as are most Necron dynasties. So this looks like the Ctan shard of the Void Dragon, if not the whole Void Dragon. I'd imagine it wouldn't be the whole Void Dragon, because that would be a faction on its own. And the very fact that it is a supporting model in the centre of everything else kind of implies that they're not going to get their own faction, not just yet anyway, at the very least. You know, the Silent King is going to be the main focus, which is fair enough. People like myself, I wanted the Lovecraftian horror that would be an entire faction of Necrons led by the Ctan, but you know, we can't all have everything all we want. What we are getting is a Lovecraftian Necron feel using just the Necron personalities of, say, the Silent King and their cryptex and the overlords, and you know, that is still pretty good, and they're going to be heavily supported and influenced by the Ctan shards. Far too early to say what the stats are going to be for this model. I don't know if you're familiar, but the current stats for the Ctan are fairly meagre. The Transcendent Ctan is a bit more powerful. Its actual close combat stats are, it's an average monster, but it has quite good killing ability from its otherworldly abilities that the Ctan do get. And yeah, it's okay. It's not a bad model on the tabletop, but it certainly isn't deemed uber competitive, as many people might term it. In the new edition, we don't know what's going to come, so we don't know whether these models will get shot off the board as easily because they can hide behind things or whatever. But I imagine the new rules for this model would be quite phenomenal. I think it would be head and shoulders above many of the others. I'm going to call it the Void Dragon until proven otherwise. I don't mind being wrong. But that leads me on to another point. Are we going to see named Ctan in this as the focus of the new army book, or the new rules that we see in Psychic Awakening? We're still not sure whether we're going to see a whole new codex or whether we're seeing new rules in Psychic Awakening only. I imagine we're going to see a whole codex, because this looks quite substantial. I mean, the Psychic Awakening will be absolutely phenomenally large if it's going to include all of these new rules as well as the other factions. And that just doesn't seem really doable, does it? It seems a little bit unlikely. So on that basis, we're likely to see a brand new codex. I'm sticking my neck out there and saying that. So, in this new codex, are we going to see Void Dragon alongside the Nightbringer and the Deceiver? And if we're having those three, are we going to see the Outsider as well? In the original Necron codex, there was the big four: the Nightbringer, the Deceiver, the Void Dragon, and the Outsider. I was always a massive fan of the Outsider. He was pure insanity. And he was a nemesis to the Harlequins, I believe. Or at least he had an engagement with them, or their god, the great Harlequin himself. So yeah, I was always a little bit curious about the Outsider, and I would like to see him. So is this the Void Dragon alongside the Outsider, Nightbringer and Deceiver, or is this just going to be the Void Dragon? Or is it just a Ctan? And then we customise them as to our own preferences. Who knows? Bit wish listy, but I'd like it to be both. I'd like this to be the Void Dragon, and I'd also like to have the capacity to customise our own Ctan, which would be amazing. Now, any rules that upgrade the Void Dragon into the game were probably going to be quite powerful rules. Now, does that mean we're going to see more updated rules of the Nightbringer and the Deceiver? They could do with a little boost. I mean, they are powerful models in the tabletop, but they don't. The problem is with the Ctan is they don't evoke the horror amongst the enemy. I mean, like when you plonk down Mortarion, Guilliman, Magnus, Ghazghkull, probably the Silent King in the future. But when you plonk down these models, people are like, oh no, there's the Swarm Lord, there's Ghazghkull. How am I going to deal with these creatures? How am I going to deal with these monsters? Mortarian's coming for me, he flies, he's moving fast, what should I do? I want that with the Necrons, in particular the Ctan. That should be their thing. People should be horrified to face them. These are otherworldly entities that can literally just destroy things with a gaze. On a whim, they just turn things to ash or whatever. You know, they have the ability over the entire material realm to just command it and do as they see fit. I want to see that reflected in my opponent's eyes. So, a bit heavy. Don't really want to inflict fear on people, but maybe if I plonk down a Ctan, that's good enough for me. The real question is, will that mean, with an updated profile, we'll see a new model for the Nightbringer or the Deceiver? Will it be single kits that represent either one of them? Or will we have a single kit that is on its own, standalone, that can actually be built in multitude of ways that includes the Nightbringer, the Outsider, the Deceiver and the Void Dragon? Will we see that? I really hope so. I would actually think that would be really good. It would be a way of saving shelf space, and it would be a way of utilising a single kit, and then we all like to have loads of bits left over for conversions. And if we're going to be able to convert our own Ctan into whatever rule set is available for us to do, the extra bits enable us to make our own unique model. So yeah, that is something I really want to see on the tabletop as well. What do you guys think? Do you want to see updated rules for the Nightbringer and Deceiver? Would you like the Void Dragon to make an entrance? Would you like to have your own customisable Ctan on the table? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and any other ideas regarding the Necrons. In the meantime, I'm off. Hope you have a good day. Peace out.